I'm Haley Mills, one of the podcast producers on Integration Nation. In this series of mini episodes, we are going to talk about different types of self-care. On today's mini episode, Allison is going to talk to you about physical self-care, what it means, and how to implement this into your self-care routine.
Hi, I'm Allison Sullivan, a licensed clinical social worker, psychotherapist, and you are listening to Integration Nation, a podcast to introduce you to and expand your knowledge about effective, integrative mental health concepts, practices, and approaches. Today we're here for another mini episode in our self-care series, and we are getting physical today. That's right, we are going to talk about physical self-care. So of course, as the name implies, physical self-care is about literally caring for your body. You may need some physical self-care if you've noticed that you're extra creaky, you're achy, your energy is lagging, you have a rather sedentary lifestyle, one where you're sitting in front of a computer or sitting and talking to people for a living. I know a thing or two about that. You're going to want to listen in about some physical self-care options. Did you know that the latest research is indicating that exercise in the amount of 3 hours per week is really the kind of set point to care for your mental health through exercise, which, wow, you break that down, that's 30 minutes, 6 days a week. And you know what? I think most of us can find 30 minutes, even if we break it down into 10 minutes, 3 times a day. I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Dragonfly Yoga Studio of Fredericksburg, located right in the middle of beautiful downtown Fredericksburg, Virginia, a truly inclusive yoga community with highly skilled teachers, a range of classes to meet you wherever you are in your yoga practice, and weekend workshops that change literally monthly to support your yoga practice in a mindful way, to partner with other healthcare professionals in the community, to offer natural, mindful approaches to all kinds of situations and circumstances you may find yourself in. Really, you're going to want to check them out, and you can find them online at dragonflyyogafred.com. So the first type of physical self-care I want to talk about today is actually exercising. Not only is exercise useful for your mental health, but it really helps our bodies. We were kind of designed to move, so it helps our bodies release stress. As we've talked about in prior episodes of self-care, chronic stress is literally an epidemic in our culture today. So physical exercise helps us release the stress in our bodies. It helps us kind of shake off the day and what's going on, in addition to kind of aligning our mind, body, and centering ourselves in our very literal physical body. All of these things help us to feel more confident, more present, helps clear up our thinking, and helps us manage our emotions. So exercise is a primary type of physical self-care. Another type of physical self-care that you may be less familiar with is called ecotherapy. And basically that's a fancy word that means getting outside, kind of being in nature, being among trees, getting out in the green, so to speak. That type of regular contact helps our body and our mind kind of reconnect at a deeper level. It helps us to relax, it helps increase our oxygen levels, and it really is grounding in a literal way. It's especially grounding if you can take your shoes off from time to time when you're in nature. So another really interesting way to provide yourself with physical self-care is ecotherapy, really finding ways to get out in nature. One of my favorite ways to do that ever since we moved is to walk on the gravel road leading up to our home. It's lined with trees, all kinds of interesting plants, and horses. And there's always a few surprises along the way, whether it's a turtle, a type of butterfly I've never seen, or the occasional deer. It really does relax me. It's almost like a metronome that kind of sets my reception level a little calmer, slower baseline. So give it a try and see what you find. The third type of physical self-care that I want to talk about is a really debated topic, and that's healthcare. I understand there are very real challenges in accessing quality healthcare and maintaining quality healthcare, and that's probably the topic of a full-length podcast. What I want to talk about today, though, is wherever you are in your relationship with healthcare providers, finding a way to care for your health preventatively through screenings, through regular visits, through checkups, at any price point that you're able to, because when we do that, when we regularly care for our health in those ways, it helps us to see where we're at, to kind of redirect and fine-tune what we're doing in other areas of our life to protect and promote health. And it helps us to really become more present in a regular way about how our body is working as a system for our health. Related to that is nutrition, something that I'm especially passionate about. Finding healthcare professionals that can help you level up your relationship with food is a very important and foundation aspect of physical self-care. Doing that literally fuels our brains and our bodies to heal themselves. Food is medicine. We've got some great workshops here at the practice to support you in doing that. And there are other mental health, nutrition coaches, and medical doctors in the area, if you live in Fredericksburg and wherever you are, that can help you understand your relationship with food and nutrition in a more present, mindful way. So in summary today, the 3 types of physical self-care I encourage you each to explore is regular exercise, working up to 3 hours per week, ecotherapy, which is really a fancy way to get in touch with nature, and engaging with healthcare professionals in preventative ways with screening approaches and nutrition to level up your physical health. Thanks so much for joining us today. We value you and your time and want to meet you where you are. Contact us with your comments and questions on our website, allisonsintegrativehealth.org. And please consider leaving us a rating and review. It helps us to expand access to these important topics.
In this mini episode, Allison defined what physical self-care is, provided questions to help figure out if physical self-care is appropriate for you, and outlined practical ways to include it in your daily life. Integration Nation is a podcast that introduces people to and expands people's understanding of integrative health. For regular information about mental health, tips, and tools, subscribe to our newsletter at allisonsintegrativehealth.org.